Hello, it is Wednesday the 18th of October, and in this video I'm going to show you how you could have predicted last night's EuroMillions numbers. Okay, now I only managed to predict one main number and one star number, and I'll show you how I predicted those numbers, and then I'm going to show you how I could have predicted all the numbers, right? Just like last Friday, I predicted 23, 50 and star number 11. Now I'll just show you what the chart looked like last Friday. Just bear with me a second. Okay, last Friday this is what the chart looked like, and because number 23 was most overdue for its frequency, also most overdue anyway, I picked 23. And then when we look at the chart for 23, see, there's number 50 looking very much overdue for its frequency. I also picked number 12, but I picked number 50 as well because on the chart for the more recent draw history, on this chart for the draw history since number 12 was added to the star numbers, number 20, the most frequent, is overdue for its frequency, and so I was going to pick number 20, and because I was picking number 20, on the chart for numbers paired with 20 you can see number 50 right up there in the top right corner. It's the most frequent, the most overdue, and clearly the most overdue for its frequency. So that's why I was picking number 50. And when you look at the chart for number 50 and you look at the recent history, well, basically you can see 23 most overdue and most frequent, and number 50. So that's why I picked those numbers, and I've been picking 3 and 11 for quite a while. I can't remember why, but those are the reasons why I picked those numbers last Friday, right? And now this is what the chart looked like before last night's draw. This is summarising the entire draw history. We're just looking at the main numbers first of all. Now, in my last video I pointed out that 16 is most overdue, 50 most frequent, and 26 most overdue for its frequency. Now 26 came out and I didn't pick 26. I'll show you what numbers I picked. First of all, I picked 16 because it's most overdue for its frequency. And then when I looked at the chart for 16, I noticed that number 27 is overdue to occur with 16. And then what I did is I looked at every single chart, the chart for numbers paired with 1, paired with 2, paired with 3, paired with 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, all the numbers. And the most overdue pair out of every single pair is 27 and 16. So I was determined to pick number 27 and 16. And then when I looked at the star numbers that go with 16 and 27, there's number 2, most frequent with 16. And there's number 11 most frequent with 27, but number 2 second most overdue with 27. And then when I looked at 16 and 27 together, no point doing that because they've not occurred together since draw 12, which is like over 1,000 draws ago, a very long time ago. So if I flip the chart upside down and look at a chart summarising the entire draw history, you can see number 2 very frequent with 16, and when I looked at the chart for 27 and I looked at the main numbers, 36 most overdue for its frequency with 27. Well, maybe not the most overdue for its frequency with 27, but with 27 and 16 it's in roughly the same place on each of these charts. So I figured 27, 16 and 36 is a combination of 3 numbers that's never occurred before, but the most overdue pair, 16 and 27, and because of where 36 is on the charts for each of those 2 numbers, I figured that those 3 numbers are going to occur together very soon. Maybe not in the next draw or the draw after, but very soon those 2 numbers are going to come out together very soon. That's my prediction. And so that's how I got star number 2, because it's most frequent with 16. And when I looked at the chart for 36 and I looked at the star numbers, number 2 most frequent with 36 as well. And then I picked star number 1 because it's most overdue for its frequency. And then when I looked at the chart for 16 and star number 2 together, there's number 1 again. So it was kind of pointing to star number 1 to occur with these 3 main numbers and 1 star number that I'd already picked. And then I decided to add to that, obviously, 20 and 50. So that's how I got number 36 and star number 2. But I'm going to show you now how you could have got all the other numbers, including star number 3 as well. So watch this. This is very interesting. To me it is anyway. This is where the numbers were on the chart before last night's draw. Number 26, most overdue for its frequency. So let's suppose we pick 26. What number shall we have with 26? Well, let's look at the chart for numbers paired with 26. And there we have number 13, most overdue for its frequency, closest to top right corner on the chart for 26. And look where star number 3 is, most overdue for its frequency with 26. So once I'd picked 36, you know, I'd already picked 16 and 27, so I weren't going to change my mind. So if I'd have gone this way instead, started with the most overdue for its frequency, like last time when I picked 23, because that were most overdue for its frequency, and then I picked another number to go with that, and so on. Well, if I'd have picked 26, I would have picked 13 as well. Now, if I'd have picked 13, Let's look at the chart for 13. And there we have 36. The most overdue number to occur with 13. And let's look at the star numbers. Okay, with 13, number 3, overdue for its frequency. So I would have definitely picked star number 3, 36, 26, 13, star number 3. I would have picked those together if I'd have started with 26, because it was most overdue for its frequency, but instead I decided to go for the most overdue numbers this time. So that was a mistake. I should have gone with 26. Now I'm going to show you also how you could have got 17 and 19 with these numbers. Let's look at the chart now for 36. Okay, most of the numbers are off the chart, but let's just ignore the star numbers because it's star number 12 that's making the chart so big. Okay, now hang on, it's not that chart. I think I need to look at the chart for star number 3. I think it is. That's the one. The chart for star number 3. 26 most overdue for its frequency. Look which two numbers are the most frequent. 17 and 19. Those two numbers are the most frequent with star number 3. On this chart, summarising the entire draw history, where whenever number 3 has been the star number, this is how often and how recently each other main number occurred. So let's look at where the other numbers were on that chart. That's where they were. So I could have got all the other numbers if I'd have followed this different path in last night's draw. If I'd have just started with 26, I would have picked 13, then I would have picked 36, I would have picked star number 3. But when I got to this chart, I would have gone for my favourite, which is 50. And obviously if I'm picking 50, I would have picked 20 with it. So I wouldn't have got all the numbers. But I'm just showing you a way that a path that leads to those numbers, where it's either the most overdue for its frequency, the most overdue, or the most frequent. Those are the numbers that come out most often. That's just the way it is. So would I have got star number 2 from any of these numbers? Well, let's look at the recent draw history since star number 12 was added. Would I have picked number 2? Would I have picked number 2 with 13? Well, yes I would, because looking at this chart, look which number is most overdue for its frequency. Number 2. Okay, let's look at the chart for 17. There's number 2 again. Chart for 19. Number 2, most overdue for its frequency. Chart for 26. Not far off, but number 3, most overdue. If we look at the full history with 26 and look at the star numbers, see number 3 overdue for its frequency. Not so much number 2 on that one, but on most of them it's pointing to number 2, star number 2. Let's look at the recent history again with 36. Star numbers, see, there you go again, number 2. Second most frequent. Probably not the most overdue for its frequency, but there you go. 2 and 3. I probably would have picked those numbers. So that is how I could have won the EuroMillions last night if I'd have followed that path. which I probably wouldn't have. But here's the thing. This is what gets me excited. Look at this. This is what the chart looks like now. Okay? Forget last night's numbers. Let's look at this chart. Now let's suppose that we put 3 lines on. One where we start with 16, one where we start with the most frequent, which is 50, and one where we start with the one that's most overdue for its frequency, which could be either of those 2 or 3. Let's say 44, because if we draw a diagonal line across here from these 2 numbers, seems like 44 is just over that line. So let's pick 3 lines, one where we start with 50, one where we start with 44, and one where we start with 16. Now let's look at the chart for 16. Pick 27 with it. Let's look at the chart for 44. What do we pick on this chart? Should we go for 22? Should we go for 12? Or shall we go for 50? There's 3 ways you can go. See, in every chart there's 3 different ways you can go. So let's work out how many lines we would have to put on to go in every direction. Well, let's look at it like this. We start with one number. So the first number, okay? So already we've got 3 lines. Now for each of those lines, to get the second number, there's 3 different ways we can go. We can go for most overdue, most frequent, or most overdue for its frequency. So now we've got 9 lines, and then we're going to do the same again. So we're multiplying by 3 each time. How many lines are we going to end up with? 27? No, 27, that number. So we go from 3, 9, 27. What's 27 times 3? It's a lot, isn't it? 81 lines? We're not going to put 81 lines on, surely. Okay, let's multiply by 3 again. How many is that? 243 lines. And then we've got the star numbers. Again, 3 ways we can go. 3 ways here, 3 ways there. Are we going to multiply by 3 again? Let's just write a little equation. Previous number times 3. And then do it again. So that's how much money you would have to spend to win the EuroMillions jackpot. In theory, using my method, my little method. This is my method. You start with a chart, you pick the most overdue, the most frequent, most overdue for its frequency, and for each of those you do a separate line. And then on that line, say we'll go for number 16, we'll have 27 on a second on another line, then maybe 14, and so on. So think about it. If you spend this much, and it's £2.50 a ticket, right? Times £2.50. Oops. What did I do now? Oh, it's G8, isn't it? Right, okay. Oh dear. G1, sorry. So if you spend £5,468 on tickets, then you'll win. So, would it be worth spending £5,500 just to win a few million? It'd be worth finding out. It'd be worth a try, because, you know, looking at the last few draws, that method, maybe it would have won. Maybe it would, because would have started with 26. Started with 26, gone to 13 on your second line, then on the third line 36, and then it would have been would that have worked? No, it wouldn't. So it depends what order you pick the numbers in as well. So anyway, I'm going to put the same numbers on again. I'm going to have 16, 27 and 36. And I'm also going to have 20 and 50. Right. And the star numbers, well, now that those other numbers have come out, I don't know what I'm going to have. Right. 22 minutes already. Right. Now that number 2's come out with those other numbers, it hasn't changed the chart for 16. See, it's still most frequent with 16. With number 27, what's this? 3 and 8. Let's look at recent history. So with number 27, star number 9. Number 16, star number 2. Number 36. Not sure about that one. Number 20, 5 or 9. Now if it were 9 with 27 as well, yeah, 9 with 20. So maybe number 9. Let's see, with 50, number 9 again. Maybe 8 or 5. So let's pick the star numbers, shall we? With these numbers. So these are my numbers for Friday now. This is what I'm going to put on Friday. Right, let's look at star numbers with star number 9. I've got 11. And if I remember, 9 and 11, that's good with 27. And not bad with 16, bit overdue. 36, there's 11 again. Frequent with 20, and quite recent with 50. So I think I will have number 11. So those are going to be my numbers for Friday. So what are the chances of a consecutive occurrence of 36. Well, this is the chart for 36. Now let's look at the gap chart. Gap of 1. So if a gap of 1 occurs again, then that number 1 will drop down to there, and all these other numbers will move across to there. And that'll be probably better, because consecutive occurrences should be twice as frequent as 2, 3 times as frequent as 3, obviously 20 times more frequent than 20. So interesting numbers on there as well. Gaps between occurrences. So yeah, those are my numbers for Friday. So if you want to copy me, do what you want. I don't really care. So I hope this video has been interesting for you. An interesting little adventure. You see, oh yeah, this is the more recent history. Let's just put it the right way up again. Right, this is a more recent history. 20. See, this is why I'm picking 20. Overdue for its frequency. Look at the chart for 20. Oh look. This is where those other numbers are on the chart for 20. So that's why I'm picking those. That's why I'm picking those numbers. Look where 50 is. And that's where the other numbers are. So good luck with the next draw. Subscribe for the next video. And that concludes this video. So sorry it's been such a long one, but I found it quite interesting, that recent result. A little bit mind blowing. So goodbye for now.